before the trophies, before the Ballon d'Ors, before he became a household name in every corner of the planet. He was just a small, quiet kid in Rosario, Argentina, who loved the ball more than anything else in the world. This is the story of Lionel Andres Messi. Lionel Messi was born on June 24th, 1987, in Rosario, a working-class city, a few hours from Buenos Aires. He was the youngest of four children, raised in a tight-knit family that lived and breathed football. His grandmother used to take him to watch his older brothers play, and it wasn't long before the coaches noticed something different about the smallest kid on the field. By age 5, he was already playing for local club Grandoli, coached by his father. By 11, he'd been snapped up by Newell's Old Boys, the club that would shape his earliest football identity. But there was a problem, a serious one. At age 10, Messi was diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency. His body simply wasn't producing enough of what he needed to grow at a normal rate. The treatment was expensive, hundreds of dollars a month for injections, and it was more than his family or even his father's health insurance could sustain for long. Argentine clubs admired his talent, but none of them could commit to funding his medical treatment. It looked for a moment like his career might be over before it began. Then came the opportunity that would change everything. FC Barcelona's youth scouts got word of this tiny Argentine prodigy who could do things with a ball that defied logic. In 2000, at the age of 13, Messi and his father flew to Catalonia for a trial. The club's technical secretary was so convinced by what he saw that, according to football folklore, he had no paper on hand. So he wrote the terms of the contract on a napkin right there at the table to make sure Messi wouldn't slip away to a rival club. Barcelona agreed to pay for his medical treatment and relocated the entire family to Spain. It was a gamble on both sides, a boy uprooted from everything he knew, a club betting its resources on unproven potential. Messi entered La Masia, Barcelona's legendary youth academy. He was homesick, he barely spoke Catalan or Spanish with a local accent, and he was still physically smaller than most of his peers. But on the pitch, none of that mattered. His close control, his low center of gravity, his ability to change direction at full speed, it was unlike anything the academy coaches had ever developed. By 16, his hormone treatment had done its job, and his body had caught up. By 17, he'd made his first team debut. Barcelona knew they had something extraordinary. What followed was one of the most remarkable club careers in the history of the sport. Messi became a fixture in Barcelona's starting lineup under coach Frank Rijkaard, and then flourished even further under Pep Guardiola, whose tactical system was practically built around Messi's genius. Between 2008 and 2012, Barcelona became arguably the greatest club side ever assembled, a team defined by intricate passing, relentless pressing, and a front line spearheaded by Messi. He won trophy after trophy, multiple La Liga titles, multiple Champions League crowns, and individual accolade after individual accolade. In 2012, he did something almost unthinkable, scoring 91 goals in a single calendar year for club and country combined, a record that still stands. Ballon d'Or after Ballon d'Or followed, eventually totaling a record 8 wins across his career. He wasn't the tallest, the strongest, or the fastest in a conventional sense. But his balance, his vision, and his almost supernatural ability to manipulate the ball at close quarters made him nearly impossible to stop. But for years, there was a shadow hanging over all of it. While Messi conquered European football with Barcelona, the Argentine national team kept falling just short. A World Cup final loss in 2014. Consecutive Copa America final defeats in 2015 and 2016. After that last heartbreak, an exhausted and frustrated Messi even announced his retirement from international football, a decision he would reverse just weeks later after an outpouring of support from fans across Argentina. Critics abroad questioned whether he could ever deliver for his country the way he did for his club. It became the single most debated question in football. Could Messi win the trophy that mattered most, In 2021, the wait finally ended. Argentina won the Copa America, beating rivals Brazil in the final at the Maracanã. For Messi, it was his first major title with the national team, and the emotion on his face said everything words couldn't. It was only the beginning of an incredible final chapter. That same year, after financial pressures forced Barcelona to part ways with their greatest ever player, Messi signed with Paris Saint-Germain. A stunning, emotional transfer that closed the book on a 21-year chapter at the only club he'd ever known as a professional. Then came Qatar, 2022, the World Cup many assumed would be Messi's last real shot at the one trophy that had eluded him his entire career. Argentina stumbled early, losing their opening match to Saudi Arabia in one of the tournament's biggest shocks. But Messi rallied his team, delivering standout performances match after match, carrying Argentina all the way to the final against France. What followed is remembered as one of the greatest World Cup finals ever played, a back-and-forth thriller that ended level after extra time and was decided on penalties. Argentina won. Messi, at last, lifted the World Cup. The image of him draped in a golden ceremonial bisht, hoisting the trophy above his head, became one of the defining sports photographs of the decade. In 2023, Messi surprised the football world again, signing with Inter Miami in Major League Soccer. It was a move that instantly transformed the profile of the American League, drawing record crowds and global attention as fans across a new continent got the chance to watch him play in person. Even in this new chapter, the magic hadn't faded. He inspired his teammates and delivered trophies almost as soon as he arrived, proving that his hunger for competition hadn't diminished, even after 2 decades at the top of the sport. From a small boy in Rosario who needed medical help just to grow, to the player many consider the greatest of all time, Lionel Messi's story isn't just about talent. It's about persistence through uncertainty, humility through fame, and a quiet, relentless devotion to the game that never wavered. He didn't just rewrite the record books, he redefined what was possible with a ball at your feet. And somewhere, on a dusty street in Rosario, another kid is watching, believing that maybe, just maybe, the same journey is possible for them too.